All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's press conference. I'm here with interim head coach Frank Reich. We will take questions from the room first and then from our Zoom. Please state your full name and outlet when you ask the question. Scott?
Hi, Frank. Good to see you again. Last time I saw you was in 97, 98 when you went to the Lions. And you were great back then, but nevertheless, it's good to see you're doing really well. My first question to you is this. Carson Beck, obviously, the Hurricanes quarterback. Do you think he's a pretty good prospect from what you've been able to see? You've looked at the game film, not only Louisville, but probably in advance, and you had an opportunity to see him firsthand today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he had a winning performance today. I didn't really study him that much, this week because I was more focused on their defense. I glanced at their offense a little bit, so I'm more focused on our quarterbacks.
But what about what you saw today, the glimpses of what you were able to see?
Yeah, I mean, I thought our defense did a pretty good job on them in the first half and contained their offense pretty well in the first half, and then they got after us. They got after us real good in the second half and gave it to us in the second half.
Hey, Coach Ben Barker on 3 rivals, Stanford on 3 rivals. Just what was the key to the first, keeping them tied up 7.5? What went well for you guys that first half, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we got off to the fast start on offense, went no huddle, had a good, drive, good execution the whole way down, run, pass, mix it up, good in the red zone, made the plays that we needed to make. On defense, we just contained them. They couldn't sustain drives, and they had the one drive, and our defense has been playing really good. Our defense the last few games against some really good offenses has come out early and stifled offenses, and I thought we did a good job stifling what is a really talented offense for Miami. And we weren't perfect in the run and pass game, but we played them very well in the first half. But as I said, they got after us. I give them credit. They came out strong in the second half and gave us all we could handle.
Santos Spurs are supposed to get press Miami. Anything defensively that they did second half that contained you pretty much?
No, we really didn't get much going after that first drive, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a struggle. I mean, they're good up front, good defense, good scheme. I mean, they didn't really do anything that surprised us. They just got good players and executed well. And, we probably left a couple things out there that we could have executed better, but I give their players and coaches credit for how they performed today.
So, I forgot to mention my first name and affiliate, Scott Moore, South Florida Tribune. So obviously, I know your background as a guy that had arguably the greatest comeback in NFL history in the playoffs. Do you use that as an opportunity to let your kids know that you have to play all the way to the final snap and use it as a teaching moment for these guys? I don't know how many of them know about Yogi Berra. It's not over till it's over, but you led by example by doing that, and that's a good teaching tool since you're at college to be able to tell it to these students because they are student athletes.
No, absolutely, and Scott, and I appreciate the question and the sentiment. I don't overplay my playing career, but I do pick key lessons, that can help us be a better team, right? I mean, that's really all that matters. If it's something that can help us be a better football team, then I'm going to draw from that experience, and I'll talk about it when necessary. But really the focus is, on our system, what we're doing. But yes, I have talked to them about that over the course of my time there, and lessons learned through those kind of games.
Ben?
You guys are 0-4 on the road now, but you're 3-0 at home. So you guys have done a nice job of bouncing back from tough road losses. Just talk about kind of what's been the key to that approach and just kind of how you're going to look ahead to kind of next week.
Just a mentality, we got mentally and physically tough kids, that it means a lot to them, and you're not going to keep us down. We're going to go back to work and find ways to get better and enjoy the process. That's the thing with our guys. I mean, they're different. They're built different now. Stanford kids, and they know what it means to work hard and excel and keep pushing, and so they're doing a good job of that. We've had some tough games on the road, but so far we've been able to bounce back at home. This will be a good challenge for us against Pitt, a team that's playing really well right now.
So Frank, obviously you've coached in the pros a long time. What's it like for you to coach college? Are these kids a lot more attentive to what you're trying to convey to them? We all know that the pros are a different animal. Now you're getting your first taste of coaching college kids.
I'm really enjoying it. I mean, these guys are special. I mean, they're special. I'm enjoying coaching them. Listen, I think any player at any level is attentive to somebody helping them become a better player. And obviously, to your point, you know, in the NFL, are those guys still trying to get better? Yes, they are. So, you know, as a coach, when you give them stuff, they can get them better, they're gonna be attentive. When you're a college player, you just need a whole lot more work on your game than you do, you know, and there's more room to grow. So the guys have been great. Our coaching staff is doing a great job. Our position coaches, our coordinators are working hard, you know, pouring everything into our team. And I think we're seeing the progress of that. I mean, obviously today was a bad defeat, but you know, I still see the progress that we're making and excited to get to work next week.
One other thing I wanted to add, I know you have a very demanding travel schedule this year, over 24,000 miles. Do you think that that's worked as a disadvantage to you, or because let's face it, that's not easy going from coast to coast multiple times, and I'm not using it as an excuse, but that's a lot more demanding travel schedule than most schools have to deal with, going from ACC, or it used to be East Coast, and now it's coast to coast.
Yeah, I mean, it is a challenging schedule, but we embrace that. You know, we like that challenge. We don't even think about that. Like, I mean, we do talk about it because, you know, you got to handle it certain ways. You know, we have certain philosophies about how we deal with the time change and the travel and, you know, all that stuff, but it's just kind of matter of fact. It's just another day at work. Here's how we do this. This is the way we handle travel, and nobody's thinking, you know, we got the short end of the stick by having to make all these trips. I think it's a great opportunity to get better.
Ben?
Yeah, no, Mike, before tonight, no Jay Green, just, kind of how huge will it be to get those guys back, whenever they are ready?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we need all hands on deck, and you know, those players are you know, big time players for us. So got to get everybody healthy. We can get healthy.
And one other thing I want to add, Mark Fletcher's a heck of a running back. What were your thoughts about the way the Miami Hurricanes pounded the football the way that they relentlessly did?
Yeah, no, they got a good run tack. You know, the back is really a good player. You know, we figured they were going to do that. You know, we figured that was going to be their game plan. You know, I thought they did a good job early on when they came out. You know, threw a couple quick screens out there to kind of loosen us up a little bit from playing the run. And then they got to their run game, but you know, we were able to stop them in the red zone. Obviously, they missed the one field goal. But other than that, I felt like our defense contained them pretty good in the first half.
I have time for one more question. Yep.
Just kind of follow questions quickly, just kind of thoughts on Joe Barnes, obviously kind of a rough second half, but just talk about the challenge that the Miami defense did for you guys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put too much weight on it. You know, I'm gonna take it for what it is. We'll watch it play by play, and Ben will fight to get better. We'll look where we can help them more than we did. You just got to give credit to Miami. They're a good football team. They're a very good defense. And you know, it's tough when you're on the road playing a defense like that on their home turf and things get going the other way. That's a tough deal for a quarterback now, because you know, we're still, you know, at the third quarter, we're still playing to win that game. And, you know, and you're putting yourself out there trying to make every play and taking big hits. And so I give Ben credit for hanging in there.
All right, thank you so much for attending tonight's press conference.
Thank you.